Hi, everybody. Welcome to Machine Guarding Awareness. Once again, another annual awareness training that you will need to get. We'll go through machine guarding rules and requirements, what you need to be aware of, how you need to make sure that you keep yourself safe. So please pay attention. Make sure that when you're done, you complete the quiz. I am grading those quizzes now, so please do the very best you can do. Thank you. First and foremost, machine guarding is one of our golden rules. Our golden rules are in place for high hazard activities that can really get you hurt or worse very quickly. So, machine guarding is a golden rule, and this golden rule states that employees must not modify or remove any safety guards or interlock on equipment. Employees must not reach around or bend any guards. Employees must immediately report any missing guards or malfunction of safety interlocks to your supervisor, and you must not operate any equipment that has missing safety guards or malfunctioning safety interlocks. Okay, so why do we go to all this trouble? Well, injuries, amputations, even fatalities happen every year resulting from the improper use of machine guards or the improper procedures following machine guarding. We want to make sure that you protect yourself from all of these injuries, amputations, and other hazards by following the procedures and making sure we have effective machine guarding in place. All right, continuing with the importance of machine guarding, machine-related injuries may include crushed hands and arms, severed fingers and limbs, lacerations, abrasions. These all can happen from the hazards created with machined parts that move. There can be pinch points, rotating parts, reciprocating parts, in other words, parts that move back and forth. There can be flying chips. There can even be sparks. So there's a lot of hazards associated with this, which is exactly why we put so much time and effort into guarding our machinery correctly. Right. To talk about machine guards themselves, machine guards are barriers which prevent access to dangerous areas. They act as physical barriers to keep people's hands and fingers and arms and legs out of dangerous areas, and they enclose and prevent employee contact. So machine guards are essential for protecting you from preventable injuries. All machines consist of three areas. The very first one is the point of operation. Basically, that's where the work is being performed on the material. That's where the cutting or the shaping or the boring, the sealing, the trimming, any of that stuff would be done. All right, there's a power transmission device. Basically, that's what moves things. Flywheels, pulleys, couplings, spindles, chains, conveyors. All right, and then there's also other moving parts. These are other parts that move while the machine is turned on. It may consist of parts that move back and forth or spin or go up and down. The hazardous mechanical motions that can get you hurt are rotating motions. Basically, this are pieces of equipment or machinery that is turning in a circle. Usually there are flywheels or shaft ends. There can be spindles, couplers, cams. These kind of things can grip your clothing or force your body part into a dangerous location. There's reciprocating motion. Basically, this means it moves back and forth or maybe even up and down. It can move to the right and you think you're okay and you put your hand in there and all of a sudden it stops and switches direction and it moves back to the left, and that's how it can entrap you. There's also transverse motion. This is motion in a straight continuous line. All right, let's talk about hazard mechanical actions. There's a cutting action, usually revolves rotating or reciprocating motion. You see this in band saws and circular saws, drilling machines, lathes, things like that. There's a punching action, basically results when something hits a fixed object, either to punch a hole in it or sometimes it will do that to help form it. There's a shearing action, basically a slide or a knife trims the material. There's a bending action, and basically that's when something stamps either corners or edges or some type of stamp into the material. So what causes machine incidents? Sometimes an employee will reach in to clear equipment. Sometimes they'll reach around a guard or they'll take a guard off and reach in. Not following proper lockout procedures can get someone hurt. Sometimes it's unauthorized people that are doing maintenance on the machine or using the machine. They haven't been trained properly to do it. And then missing or loose machine guards. It's very important that you find a loose or missing machine guard, that you notify your supervisor immediately. All right, so you might be asking yourself, how can I get hurt? Well, when we're talking about machine guarding, we normally refer to nip and pinch points. All right, these are points where rotating or reciprocating motions of machines can pull your body part, your finger, your clothing into that area and cause damage. As you can see here, we've got ingoing and outgoing motion. So if you were to take your fingers and accidentally place them on the left side of the outgoing motion, the direction that those two rollers are turning would just push your fingers away. However, if your fingers ended up on the ingoing or the right side, the motion of the two reciprocating or rotating pieces of equipment would grab your fingers and drag your fingers in. Okay, so the ingoing nip point is where you can get caught and hurt. Lots to look at on this slide. This shows you hazardous areas and hazardous motion. Once again, you can tell with the picture on the right where the nip points are. You want to make sure that you never get any part of your body or any clothing or anything on the ingoing nip point, right? You want to make absolutely sure that you don't get anywhere near any of this equipment. If it's moving, it should be guarded and you should not have your hands near it while it's moving. Hazardous areas and hazardous motions must be guarded with machine guarding to keep everyone safe and away from these dangerous areas. All right, we need to discuss machine guard requirements. All machine guards must prevent contact. You cannot get your hands, arm, any body part, any part of your clothing into an area that, as we saw earlier, can grab you and pull you in. Guards have to be secure. They have to be bolted on. They cannot be easily removed. They have to protect from falling objects. If you can imagine something spinning at 800 RPMs and a tool falls down on top of that, it could get shot clear across the plant and strike someone and hurt them. They cannot create any new hazards. If we put a guard up and every time you get close to it, it cuts you or burns you, then it doesn't make any sense. Cannot create any interference. You have to be able to perform your job, and we have to put guards up so that we can still safely lubricate machinery without removing the guards. Okay, there are 4 types of machine guards. The first one we'll talk about is a fixed guard. It's a permanent part of the machine. It must be constructed of sheet metal, screen, some type of wire, bars, something that will provide a barrier, once again, to keep anybody's hands or fingers from getting in an area, a hazardous area, but it still has to allow for the material to pass through so that the product can be made. The next type of machine guards are interlocked guards. We have a bunch of these in our plant. Basically, when they are opened or removed, it automatically shuts off that part of the machinery. It stops all moving parts, and the machine cannot be started again until the guard is put back into place and the reset button push. Once again, the safeguarding action for this is it shuts off or disengages the power and it stops all moving parts while the guard door is open. All right. This allows you to quickly reach into a dangerous or hazardous area, clear a jam, make a real quick minor adjustment. There are also adjustable guards. Adjustable guards allows flexibility in accommodating different sizes of material to go through, and the safeguarding action provides a barrier that can be adjusted to work with a variety of different types of operations and different sizes of stock. The fourth type of machine guard is a self-adjusting guard. That guard opens and closes as the stock is pushed through there. It also provides a barrier that moves according to the size of the stock entering the danger area, so it can accommodate many different sizes of material going through it. All right, this is kind of a busy picture, but you can see here that there's a fixed enclosure, which is basically a guard that goes around the entire machine. There's an adjustable guard, kind of center left. That guard can be loosened up and moved back and forth so that we could use different sizes of boxes through there. And then our interlock guards, which are just outside of the picture, are on here as well. Once again, on a SOMIC, if you open one of those doors, it'll shut the machine down. All right, guys, we're almost done. A quick summary is never modify, remove, reach around any safety guard or interlock. Never operate any equipment or machinery that has missing or loose safety guards or malfunctioning safety interlocks. Make sure you always report any missing safeguards or any malfunction of interlocks to your supervisor. If you're ever uncertain about a guard or if something seems unsafe, shut the equipment down and report it immediately. We want to make sure that you go home with the same number of fingers that you showed up with, okay? That's it. It's quiz time. Once again, please make sure that you do your very best on the quiz. They are being graded now. We want to make sure that you guys are getting this information and you're understanding it so that we can keep you safe. As always, I appreciate your time and attention, and I really appreciate the support that you guys all give the safety department. Thank you.